Hey everybody, welcome to the October 30th Daily Drive-By. A little 3 to 5 minute snippet every day about government waste, government corruption, all those things the government's really good at. Today, as promised, I'm going to start a series on the handicapping the GOP contenders for the nomination for president, to run for president. Like I said in the first video the other day, I'm not going to play favorites in the order. I'm going to take the Real Clear Politics average from this past week, and I'm going to do them in reverse order. And so today, sorry to say, you get Jon Huntsman. I'm not going to play favorites in here either. I say sorry to say because Jon Huntsman seems like a really nice guy, but oh my God, he's boring. And I guess I should worry a little bit that if the first one I do is boring, y'all might not come back and see the others, but I'll just take that chance. So let's talk about Jon Huntsman. I just really hadn't made up my mind whether I like Jon or not. Seems like a nice enough guy, but I don't want a nice guy as president. Bill Clinton was a pretty nice guy. I'd love to go out and, if I still drank, he'd be a nice guy to go shoot pool and drink beer with, but I don't think he should have been president because I think principles and morals do matter. Huntsman's a nice guy too, but he just, personality-wise, he's not a let's go drink beer and shoot pool kind of fella. Let me run down a few just hard, cold facts about Huntsman, not policies. Well, there'll be a little bit of policy in here, but these are just some things you might want to know about him that really don't say anything about what kind of president he'd be. The Cato Institute, which is supposed to be nonpartisan, although they do lean conservative, ranked him fifth best among governors in 2008. Okay, if you're on the conservative side, so far so good. He was a tax cutter the governor of the state of Utah. Did a good job of cutting taxes. On the other side of cutting taxes, he sure spent an awful lot of money. His spending increases ran 10% a year while he was there. They just happened to have a good tax base and big surpluses, so he was able to increase spending without raising taxes. And just because you got it doesn't mean you have to spend it. That's what's got this country in the shape it's in now. They get money that they shouldn't have, like stealing from the Social Security Fund, and then they go spend it. Again, on the conservative side. Now, when I say conservative, I'm not talking about today's modern conservatives, which are very little different than progressive Democrats. It's just a question of how fast they want to take you into government control of the people. I'm talking about true conservatives, constitutional conservatives, Tea Party types, if you want to put it that way. He's very pro-life, which can be good or bad, even from a conservative standpoint. There's a lot of conservative Republicans out there that say they're conservative, but they don't believe in the Constitution enough to say that on the matter of abortion, federal government doesn't have any say in that. That's a 10th Amendment issue. Doesn't matter what somebody's personal views are. It shouldn't have any effect on how they act as a federal officer. Jon Huntsman's personally anti-abortion, pro-life. I'm afraid he would be as a president too. And the proper job of the president is to throw it back to the states. That's where Roe v. Wade messed up big time. Supreme should have thrown it back to the states. Another libertarian style view that he has that will make a lot of conservatives mad. He supports civil unions. Now, that doesn't mean he supports gay marriage. Two entirely different things. Civil union, a contract between two people that because they live together, because they accumulate certain property together, they have a contract that spells out legally how their relationship works. I have no problem with that. You want to talk about marriage? That marriage itself shouldn't be. Government doesn't have a dog in that fight. I think people, if they have religious views, they ought to get married in the church, and that's between them and the church. Government doesn't have any say in it. The only reason the government even issues a marriage license is so they can make money off of it. Those should be two entirely different things. Man and a woman get married. There should be two things they do. They enter into a contract and they get married. Those are two different things. They can do either one or both. Jon Huntsman supports civil unions, but he's against gay marriage. That's pretty much where any constitutional conservative should be. He waffles on climate change. He has said that he thinks man's causing it, and he has said that he doesn't think we ought to do anything about it. He really doesn't have a firm opinion on it, it doesn't seem. I won't say he waffles. I think he's undecided. But as a governor, he did push Congress to cap greenhouse gases. And he joined a group of western states to reduce them too. On the other hand, he has said that he doesn't think cap and trade works. So we don't know where he is on that. He supports illegal immigration. He supports immigration reform. He's against amnesty in that reform, though. And he does support building the fence. He reluctantly supports building the fence. I think anybody ought to reluctantly support building the fence. You shouldn't be eager to be an exclusionary country club type, and you shouldn't be eager to spend the money it would cost, but we do need to control our borders, and I think a fence would do it. He tends to be globalist on foreign policy. He's a real Republican when it comes to that. I'm talking about big party, modern day Republican, one global government working toward that. And that's just not a foreign policy I think this country ought to be getting into or continuing. We're already into it. I think he's too friendly toward China. As a missionary, when he was a teenager, he spent his missionary years in Taiwan. He has a great deal of empathy for the Chinese people, both mainland China and Taiwanese. And I think he lets that color his attitude toward China as a whole. He wants us all to play nice in the sandbox. And that would be fine if China wanted to play nice in the sandbox. The Chinese people are probably okay, but the Chinese government sucks. And I think he'd play too well with them. He's a real straight and narrow Mormon fella, which is not a problem. Not if you believe in freedom of religion. He was an Eagle Scout, and he's got 7 honorary doctorates. Eagle Scout says a lot for him. Like I said, yes, he's likable. Is he electable? I don't think so. I think he's too centrist. I think he tries to please everybody. No, I'm not. Let me take that back. He doesn't try to please everybody. I think his views are such that you could say he tried to please everybody, but I think they're honestly his views. But he's got too many views that are pro-big government, pro-modern GOP to satisfy the Tea Party types. I know I'm not happy with his views. On the other hand, he leans too libertarian, civil unions, and things like that. He's going to piss off the straight and narrow party Republicans. So I don't think he's really very electable for those reasons. He's not a party hack, but his positions tend to line him up with the party hacks. I just don't, and he's the type that doesn't want to rock the boat. He wants to play nice too much. And my views on playing nice, my views on compromise, in my first video the other day, Handicapping the GOP, video number 1, I made the point that you can compromise on issues, on policies. How much do we cut the budget this year versus next year? Do we go to a flat tax and then a fair tax? Do we try to go straight to a fair tax? Those are issues. Those are policies. Negotiation and compromise on those is okay. You don't compromise principles at all, period, in a discussion. A principle is the way you feel on a particular issue. When it comes to principles, you're either on one side or you're the other. I'm going to take abortion as an example. It is either murdering a child or it's not. And I don't believe you can today think that it's okay to murder babies and tomorrow you don't think it is. So I think he's a little bit too much wanting to be nice to everybody. So that's my views on Jon Huntsman. I'll leave you with a few thoughts that I leave everybody at the end of all my videos on politics. First of all, every time you come in contact with a politician, I don't care where it is, one of your local politicians at the local Waffle House having a cup of coffee, or if you happen to stumble across a senator while you're visiting Washington on vacation, you always leave every politician with the same thing. You remind them in no uncertain terms, we don't work for you. You work for us. The other things, well, until you see me in the next video, you have a good day. Oh, and y'all come back now. You hear?